All right, Thrive Nation, if you're looking for a success story, something to encourage you that you have the mental capacity and the tenacity to succeed, today's show is going to be a blasty blast, and a show that I recommend that you take notes, you visit the website, you verify that today's guest is a real person and she's not a hologram. Dr. Amber, welcome onto the Thrivetime show. How are you?
Much. I am doing great.
So, Jordan, we've had the opportunity to work with Dr. Amber here for a while, and she's having massive growth. So, before we get into the details, could you describe what makes her great to work with? Because you're always bragging on her. So, what makes her
Oh,
so
yeah.
great to work with?
Well, for one, she never misses a meeting. She's always on time, and she always does the action items that I have her do. So whether it's starting the staff meeting once a week, the daily huddle, getting reviews, video reviews, the group interview, she just does it.
And so, my understanding is Dr. Amber, you're up. The business has grown. As a percentage, how much have you grown? Is it 2%, 5%? What kind of a percentage growth have you had?
Wow. So just as some examples, in December, we grew over like 150%. The month before November, we grew, I think it was Jordan, like 280%. We haven't yet hit the end of January, so we're waiting on the results for that. But we've only been open for a little over 1 year. And we've already seen, amazing growth.
That's awesome. So you're having the big growth, and I think there's a lot of people that they view success as sort of a murky, mystical thing. I'll give you an example, folks. In my family, my wife used to get together with all the aunts for a big Thanksgiving meal once a year. All the women would get together, all the guys would get together, a big Thanksgiving meal. And there were some of the recipes they had over the years that were written, they were passed down from grandmothers and great aunts, and you could no longer read the actual ingredients on the note card. It was just a note card with like the remnants of what used to be words. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, how are you possibly making a pie using this? What does this say? And they would hold it for the nostalgic reason, but it really carried no actual practical value because nothing was written down. That's how the recipe was. I think a lot of people view success that way. They view it as kind of a woo-woo series of guesswork, and they're chasing this elusive thing called success. And I want you to know here at the Thrivetime Show, we break down that complicated idea of success into tangible action steps that you can take here. So, Dr. Amber, I want to get your thoughts on this real quick, just some basic stuff. First off, what kind of a doctor are you?
I am an eye doctor, or also known as optometrist.
How long did you have to go to school to become an optometrist?
For about 8 years.
About 8 years. And what's the proper pronunciation of your last name so people can look you up to verify you're not a hologram?
T10.
Okay, so you went to college for how many years total?
Total 10 years, but it takes about 8 years to be an optometrist.
Got it. And so you're having, massive growth. And so I want to give people just some visuals here. The first thing we have to do with every client we ever work with is we have to sit down and figure out, what are your goals? Now, I'm not asking you to share on this public platform what your goals were or what they are, but did you have in your mind, did you already have goals established, or is that something that you needed help thinking of?
I would say that's kind of a twofold. We had, my husband and I, we had some goals in mind. But I think it was truly kind of, as a new start business, kind of hard to even categorize those goals and really put into perspective how much you could grow and how much you could reach those. So we knew we wanted to get improved, but we were kind of in a rut and didn't quite know how to do that.
Yeah.
And enter Lovely Podcast and actually taking the step to join them.
I am super, super glad you're so transparent about this, because I know a lot of people feel overwhelmed. And so I'm going to give people kind of a visual here. So step one, with every client we work with, and by the way, folks, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll see thousands of testimonials from real people. Step one, we have to establish our revenue goals. What's our annual goal for revenue? And then what's our weekly gross revenue goal? Now, step number two, we got to know how many patients we need to see just to break even. Now, Jordan, you work with a lot of wonderful clients. But again, with Dr. Amber, I mean, you've been bragging on her for quite a while here. Some clients, they get a kind of emotional when it comes down to making the tracking sheet.
Right.
What's the process been like working with our good friend here as far as making that tracking sheet? Was it a complicated thing? Was it a multiple month thing, or did you guys knock it out pretty quick?
No, it took maybe like the first meeting, maybe the first two meetings, just to nail down everything and what everything meant. And then from then on, it's just, it's always plugged in before every meeting. All the numbers are plugged in. So the income for the week, the expenses for the week, the profit for the week, the leads, how much the ads were this week. It's all plugged in, and it took 0 time. It took
Now, as far as you have to measure what you treasure. I mean, that's a big thing. We all have to measure what we treasure. As you as a doctor, Dr. Amber, how does that help you to know all your numbers and to see it all on one spreadsheet?
Absolutely. I have been telling Jordan in the past that otherwise you were just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. I mean, I thought the numbers looked good. We'd go day to day at the end of the day looking at like the actual gross, but you had no way to actually track, okay, how many patients did you see? How many new patients did we see? Where's the money going? Also just looking at the amount of leads and how that kind of correlates in patterns to how many reviews we got, and then also where all of our like dream 100s going, Google, all of that. It just really puts it in perspective and gives you a goal and an actual action item to be accountable for.
And again, I'm looking at the numbers here. It looks like you're up about 200%. I mean, and because again, you had some months where you're up higher than that and some months a little less, but I mean, you are absolutely growing. I want people to know this. I'm going to pull this up just to kind of brag on you. This is so important. I want to do a search here. Everyone do a search right now. We're going to go to usdebtclock.org. I'm not trying to depress anybody, but if you go here, there's a middle column where they keep an accurate track of how many Americans identify as being self-employed. So in America today, with a population of approximately 330 million Americans, we have 9,047,817 self-employed people. And according to Inc. magazine, 96% of businesses fail, according to Inc. magazine. Now, I'm not saying that Inc. magazine is the end all with stats. You also have the U.S. Chamber of Commerce with similar stats. What we're finding is most businesses don't ever succeed. So statistically speaking, just so we're clear, if there's 330 million Americans out there and only 9 million of them are self-employed, that's like 3% of our population is self-employed. Now, if you talk about 96% of them failing, we're down to now only 4% of that 3% is successful by default. So again, if you're out there today and you feel like you're struggling, don't feel bad. You just got to follow a proven system. Now, box number 3, Jordan works with our clients to figure out your schedule, your boundaries, how many hours you're willing to work. We've got some doctors, true story, we work with who say, I'm going to work 3 days a week. That's it. Other doctors say 6 days a week. Some say 7 days a week. How important was it for you and your husband and your team to figure out the hours that you would be open, the hours you're not open, just in terms of just blocking out that time?
For me, it's invaluable. So, a little bit of personal story. I actually just got back from quote unquote, I guess you'd call it a maternity leave, Jordan. So it was actually the only time I missed a call with him was when I was giving birth. So finding the time for when I needed to work and when family time was invaluable. And I think also having that be a recipe where I could still succeed makes it even more important, especially as a mom and a wife, being able to have my own business, but also being able to have boundaries on when I would actually see patients, when I would work on the business, and then when I would be able to go home.
So this is awesome. Again, folks, this woman has given birth to a baby, which in my opinion is you deserve a Lifetime Achievement Award. Anytime a woman gives birth to a baby out of their body, they deserve some kind of Lifetime Achievement award. But also she gave birth to a successful company at the same time. So the time will never be just right, but everybody out there, you got to block out time to be successful. There's never a perfect time. You're never too old or too young, or you just got to do it. Now, box number 4, if you had to figure out your unique value proposition, and we had to improve the branding, box number 5. So we look at your website, navigationeyecare.com, and a website, by the way, folks, is a little bit like a garden. You're never quite done. You're always pulling weeds, always tweaking. As we look at it now, I'm sure we'll catch something we want to fix tomorrow or improve, but the idea is you have to eventually launch, and perfect is the enemy of done. Perfect is the enemy of done. So I want to talk to you about that for a second. I find that a lot of doctors I work with are hesitant to launch the site until it's perfect. Therefore, they never launch it. But I find that the clients that are the most successful can launch it and then say, you know what, I'm going to come back later and fix my lobby. I can come back later and adjust my logo. I can come back later and improve the look of my website. Could you talk about the process of launching the website? What was that like to work with Jordan and your team there, our team and your team?
It was really helpful. He was pretty confident in us from the beginning. I guess as a doctor, you're a little nervous and you don't want to make videos of yourself. I'm a pretty humble person, so that aspect just needed a little push and shove. He's done great on the website and just basically um, with our Navigation Eye Care logo, using that, but also just capturing what the office is, the energy within the office, and also being encouraging when we kind of fine tuned, for instance, our no brainer and our deal on that. He was really helpful in making that succeed.
Now, a no-brainer, I don't want him to get lost with the language. I'm going to pull up this diagram again. Hopefully this diagram is helpful for everybody. With my clients, they always tell me it's like it helps them so much to see it. After we start the marketing, this is box number 6, the 3-legged marketing stool, which is how do we get customers? Once the phone starts ringing or once people start visiting the website, you have to have a no-brainer offer that is so good and so exciting that somebody who doesn't know you is willing to fill out the form. So just let me give you an example. I am not the only guy, the only guy that cuts hair in the city of Oklahoma City. So if you do a search for OKC Men's Haircuts, my company, Elephant in the Room, is not the only company that cuts hair. But if you do a Google search for OKC Men's Haircuts, we clearly come up top in the search results. And then people go to the website and they go, I don't know about this. There's other options. These aren't the only people I'm looking at. They're not loyal to my button. They're not loyal to my website. And they look and they go, wait a minute. First haircut's $1. I could try that because it's the risk and reward, whether it's conscious or subconscious. People do not want to have a bad first experience. And I see so many optometrists specifically, and doctors that say, first exam, only $400. And people are like, huh? And it's not appealing. And people then have a horrible experience and they go, man, I spent $400 for a terrible experience. But this is a great offer you guys have come up with. Talk to us about the offer, the no-brainer, and maybe what kind of value that's had for your business.
Absolutely. So the first time exam and a pair of glasses is $99. We did fine tune that a little bit. At first, we had a kind of an age range on it since we see all the way from 6 months up. Since I came back in December, we actually fine tuned that to be $99 for everybody. It's been excellent. Jordan can attest to this. Our phones lately are ringing constantly. Like we kind of have a blessing in disguise, a good problem to have. Our staff is really busy with constant calls for leads, or even our lead sheet with people that want to know more. It is a great first step as well. So it gets everybody in the door. It's not a $99 and then end there. We have so many people that take advantage of that as step in the door, and then they love our office and the experience and they want to invest more. They get another pair of glasses, they get contact lenses, they say, oh my goodness, at the checkout, they want to schedule their whole family or their best friend. So it has been invaluable to grow up this. Nothing that we would have ever thought of ourselves. So completely just mind-blowing how much we've grown since we've started using that.
You know, one thing about business consulting is it's a lot like hiring a personal trainer for fitness. They're very analogous ideas. If you hire a personal trainer for fitness and you don't show up, it's not something you can delegate. You can't just say, Jordan, you're my personal trainer, but I don't want to work out today. So I'm sending my good friend Carl, my office assistant. He's going to work out in my place. He'll do some pull-ups, get him on the burpees, get him on the pull-ups, have him run a lot of crushers, okay? Because I want to get in shape, so really push that guy. And I think a lot of people view business consulting that way. It is a participation sport. It is a full contact sport. And if it wasn't for great people like Dr. Amber, the system wouldn't work. You know, and with a lot of our clients, we help them design their office, their lobby. But in this case, with Dr. Amber, she really put a lot of thought into the design of her business. So when we send people into the actual office, they're having a great experience in the actual location. The sights, the smells, the sounds, the whole atmosphere is great. And a big kudos to you for doing that. Because again, if we help people market off a cliff, we have a lot of our clients, we do the interior design and we help them with that. But there are some doctors that say, I will decorate my own office. And it's the worst thing possible. So you've done a great job with that. Now we talk about sales, moving into sales. Eventually we have to sell something. Eventually we have to sell something. So sales scripts, recorded calls, one sheets, print pieces, all of that. how important has it been for you to begin to put in sales systems? Because the word sales for most optometrists is almost like a curse word. How important has it been to put in sales systems for your optometry clinic's success?
I would say it's been a pivotal point of growth. So we have lead sheets where we get back in touch with anybody who wants more communication. We have call scripts that make it just seamless for our team from day one even. We brought on a new staff member at the beginning of, or pardon me, the end of December. From day one, she knew how to answer the phone. She knew what was expected and how to schedule a patient. She knew about the no-brainer. It makes it just a lot easier because as a small practice that just opened up, I don't really have the time, nor am I the most useful in training. As well as my other staff, I would rather have them be answering the phone, scheduling appointments, keep doing their job. And then the sales part, yeah, no optometrist really likes to sell. We would rather like to recommend or prescribe. But it is one of the few practices, along with kind of dentistry, where actually for the profession, yes, I have an eye exam, but we make a lot of our money and a lot of our business by actually selling or the consumer purchasing something. So with the selling process, Jordan would attest to this. I definitely have A+ players right now. We've kind of weeded out the weeds per se and some B and C+ players, which has been a great stepping stone to a new office. But the energy and the staff really help in the selling for them to know the product, for them to feel confident, and for them to kind of quote close the deal. And we have checklists for all of that that make it really easy on, okay, what's the price on this? Can they get this with it, etc.
Now, if anybody out there who goes to, you want to see an example of a system once it's done, I should say, or is getting closer to done, if you go to eitrlounge.com, folks, and you click on the staff button, I unfortunately cannot give you the passwords to my franchise, but this is what it should look like behind the scenes. You basically have all your documents and all your checklists documented. So as we work over the years with your practice to help it grow, eventually we'll have every system, everything documented. So my staff, if they're looking for the opening daily manager checklist, they can just click on the link and bam, all the documents are there, all the systems. And it's a process, but at the end of the day, what you look for in business is you look for what's called a return on investment. Many of our listeners already know that, but I want to make sure we're on the same page here. My game or my goal, my process is to help you bring in more money than you pay us. And so, I hire an accountant. Just full disclosure, folks, I spend about $4,000 a month every month on the same accounting firm. I have no problem with them at all. It's called CCK. They're an accounting firm based in Tulsa. They do work with clients all over the country, but it's called CCK Strategies. I don't make a commission for recommending them, although I've asked, but I do not make a commission for recommending them. But I pay about $4,000 a month to them. And you might say, well, why do you pay them every month? Well, because every time I have an accounting question, I can get on the phone and get the answer real quick. And so having those recurring weekly meetings keeps the accounting on track. Full disclosure, I work with a law firm called wintersking.com. Winters King. Again, I don't make a commission, although I've asked. Wintersking.com. This is who I use for all my legal stuff. And people say, man, why do you spend $4,000 a month on your legal and $4,000 a month on accounting? Are you spending $8,000 a month recurring? Yes, because I don't ever want to get myself in a legal conundrum. I want to stay on top of these things. And I think that's the same thing with business consulting. We charge you $1,700 a month, 1700. Could you speak to, just for the sake of time, when you pay the $1,700, how would you describe the value you're getting back as far as that value proposition, the $1,700 you're spending versus the value that you're getting back?
Well, the only word I can kind of think right now is no-brainer. Pardon to say it, but it's kind of a non-negotiable. So the return on investment is something that really can't be quantified with the growth we've had, and just having the stepping stones along the way on what we need to do. And Jordan kind of says it's kind of like almost like a rinse, rather repeat. Keep doing, and you'll see growth. But I think having him there as a coach and that accountability to meet each week is just the best. I think my husband and I are all in, and we would say it's just part of our business right now.
Now, I would tell people if they lived in your area and they wanted to have an eye care experience that is awesome, I would say, hey, it's $99. Okay. So worst case scenario, you go in there and you had the worst experience possible, which you're not going to have. It's just a no brainer. But at the end of the day, you have to try it out, folks. You have to go to the website. You have to look into it. You have to schedule that consultation. But for anybody who's in your area, what markets do you serve? Can you tell us what area are you in, and where can people, what kind of what geographical area do you service?
So we're located in Chesapeake, Virginia. This area is part of a 7-city or kind of 7-suburb area called the Hampton Roads community.
Got
We actually have most of the military. We have the largest Navy base. We have a Air Force base just north of us. So we get an influx of a lot of different communities of people. A lot of people who have been here long-term in the Chesapeake area that's very rural, but growing. We also get people who are from Norfolk, who are from Newport News, who are across the water. It's really 7 cities that is an infrastructure of just different bridges and land. Quite different than the Midwest, although my husband and I are from the Midwest. But the Navy is what brought us here, and my husband now is more reserve out of the Navy, active duty, and we just are really blessed to serve a community that supports the Navy and the people in it.
And we're just a quick, brief 14-hour drive from your office. So if anybody in the Tulsa area, it might be worth the 14-hour drive. You'll have to do the math, folks, but it's only 14 hours away from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, final question I have here for you. And again, we help you with, the HR, the hiring processes, the checklist. There's a lot of stuff we do. I just wanted to be able to celebrate your success and that 200+% growth there. But for anybody out there that's thinking about scheduling a 13-point assessment, we have thousands of testimonials people can see by going to thrivetimeshow.com and clicking on the testimonials button. But what would you say for anybody who's thinking about scheduling a free 13-point assessment? Because we only take on 160 clients, so I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want anyone to waste their time. What would you say to anybody who's thinking about scheduling a free 13-point assessment with myself?
I would say 100% go for it, with the caveat, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to be held accountable every week? And are you excited about growing more than you probably could have ever imagined, and more than you'll be able to do on your own?
Boom. Dr. Amber, I really do appreciate you carving out time. Jordan, thank you so much for making this happen. Jordan's always bragging on you, and it's great to be able to celebrate you here on today's show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I want to give you an encouraging word. These are actual real people, real clients we've worked with. They're not holograms, and they've had real success. And I know we're living in a challenging economy and a challenging world, but I've worked with these guys for years, and they really are diligent doers. And I just wanted to celebrate their success and let you see that it is possible to achieve massive success in this crazy world. Dave and Trisha of Papa Gallows and Morning Glory, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you guys?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing well.
I'm fired up. So, Dave, I got to start with you. How long ago was it when you first heard about us? How many years ago, or what year was that, sir?
2017.
2017. A customer actually mentioned you guys, and we looked into it. And I remember our first call, I had to hide in the storeroom to get a half an hour to talk to you guys.
So you first heard about us 6 years ago. We've been working with you since that time. Trisha, I know that you look at the numbers, and so does Dave. When you think about the growth of Papa Gallows from that first call to now, and then you started Morning Glory since that time, what kind of growth have you guys seen?
Oh, God, we're at the Papa Gallows side. It's probably 4 times what it was when we met you guys.
And then Morning Glory was an idea, so it's kind of hard to think about the percentage of growth because it wasn't a thing yet. So, but that business is doing well too, right? Morning Glory.
Yeah, surprisingly good. Sometimes it upsets me how well it's doing so fast, but a lot of the things we're doing, we didn't do with Papa Gallows because we didn't know, and we got to implement some of the things we learned from you guys with the new place, and it's taken off a lot faster.
Now, your business has a lot of things a lot of variables, and I'm going to kind of march through them, and I'm going to see if you can teach our listeners about this here. So the first thing with Papa Gallows, the food has always been great. Morning Glory, the food has always been great. If people are in the Satellite Beach area, they need to check out the food. So I've never had, most restaurants I work with, I have to work with them on food quality. I've never had to work with you at all on food quality. However, the one area you guys were not getting reviews from your happy customers. People love the food, but we weren't getting objective reviews, and people read those reviews. Can you talk to us, Dave, about the importance of, I know I harass you about it every week, but can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of gathering those objective Google reviews and oftentimes video reviews as well?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't think it would be that huge when we started down that road, but every week we get people that come in and go, oh, we drove 40 miles because we read the reviews about the place. And to be honest, if we go out of town, the first thing we do is look at the reviews as well. So, I mean, you don't think it's going to make that big a deal, but it's a game changer for sure.
Now, Tricia, on the websites, we've worked to create the websites for both Morning Glory and Papa Gallows, and I find a lot of business owners can get stuck infinitely doing small little minutia changes to their websites instead of building a website that ranks in Google. We've worked with you guys on building both websites, and we do have to update the menu pricing from time to time and do some things. But how much of a game changer has it been having websites that actually come up top in Google?
Well, I mean, coming up on top on Google is huge because everybody's using their phones these days to ask where they should go. So for that to just pop up top is, you know, you can't put a number on that for what it does for your income. And the people look and search your website. I mean, Dave was writing blogs and stuff that helps with the SEO and coming up high on that. And we got a catering just from her reading one of the blogs. I mean, how do you put it?
Yeah, it's just been that part of it's been a big eye opener for me because I just didn't put that much weight on it until we started. We always kind of start with we'll try anything until it doesn't work. So we went in with that with this full blast, and it just blew my mind how well that worked.
Now, tracking results is a big thing, and I love working with you guys because you're diligent people that show up to work every day. And I don't care how good of a boss you are in the restaurant business. I really don't. No matter how great of a boss you are, you're going to have turnover in the restaurant business because young people who are waiters and waitresses, they decide to move, they get pregnant, they get another job. There's a lot of variables. And so you're never stopping recruiting. Dave, I can't tell you how many restaurants I've worked with over the years, and I tell them, listen, recruiting is a never-ending process as a restaurant owner. It's like a garden. You have to pull the weeds every week. Can you talk to listeners out there about the importance of you never stopping recruiting? Because again, I could give you all the advice in the world, but if you would not have implemented it, it wouldn't help. Can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of never stopping recruiting?
Well, it's just from week to week, like you said, you never know. One day you don't have enough shifts, and then the next day you come in and 4 people disappear in the night. You don't even know what happened to them. And by having people lined up to come right in, it smooths over the transition. And it's this never-ending process. And it seems like lately, the new younger groups that come in, the younger kids, they just change jobs every 4 or 5 months just because, when I grew up, you got in a job, you liked it, you stayed, but it's not that way anymore. People change just for the sake of changing. So keeping the recruiting going keeps staff. Now,
this is a big thing. The experience itself is a wow. And I know we worked with you guys on making sure we had an intentional wow moment in terms of the decor, the atmosphere, the music, everything. And again, you guys have great food, but I'd love to get Tricia's thoughts on this. When people go to Morning Glory for the first time or they walk into Papa Gallows, and I've had friends of mine, the Johnsons, Jared and Jennifer Johnson, actually came to your restaurant, and their comment was, wow, that's awesome. Can you talk about the importance of being intentional to make an experience that wows there, Tricia?
Well, I mean, that's the people look with their eyes first, so they don't even see the food yet. So if they're looking at your, seating or your walls and they don't get that kind of wow from it, they're not going to get the wow from the food either because that comes later. So it's very important, especially ladies with bathrooms and stuff is huge. If you've got a really poorly put together bathroom and the ladies got to go in there and they just don't like it, they're not coming back. Even if your food is amazing, if your bathroom isn't there, it's just a game changer for them.
Now, checklists and processes. You guys have done a great job making checklists for everything. I'm going to pull up these websites here. Again, if you're in Florida, it's worth the drive. papagallows.com, morningglory.eatery.com. It's worth the drive. You got to check it out there, folks. Checklists and processes for everything. Dave, you got to make a menu. You got to have recipes.
you got to have checklists. You know, you can go out there and make a great menu, but you have to deliver on it. And you guys do such a great job of that. You have a menu, but you got to deliver on it. So you've got the recipes and the checklists. Can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of taking the time over these past 6 years and even before that of building checklists for everything?
Well, it's just, especially in the kitchen area, the cooks, even though you tell them certain things, if it's not written down and make them measure, everybody wants to put a little more of this or a little more of that, and then that messes with your consistency. So having that recipe and being able to see somebody putting something together like the dough recipe and see them measuring out how much goes into it versus just eyeballing it is a big deal. And if there's a checklist and you can just see, okay, it's out or it's not. And I'm constantly in the kitchen saying, are you measuring? And use a checklist, because they don't, everybody wants to put their little spin on stuff, and you just can't have that.
Now, one thing I really enjoy about working with you, Tricia, and Dave, is you're really, really wonderful people. And you guys aren't petty people. You're not, but petty means focusing on small things. You're not ignoramuses. You're not jerks. You're kind people. And so it's fun to help amplify your business and to see it grow. But growing a business, again, is like growing a garden. You have to pull weeds every week. And so every week I hop on the phone call with you at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, 3 times a week, or the website will go down, or there's a pricing increase, or something will change. Or when the COVID lockdowns happened, it was getting PPP funding, and there's just so many of these urgent things. I'd love to get your thoughts, Tricia, on what it's like to have our team available to help you in your times of need on a weekly basis. As because a lot of people view growing a business as an event, where really it's a weekly process. Can you talk to listeners out there about the value of having a weekly support team that you can trust?
Yeah, I mean, like with our menu and stuff, especially after COVID, you never know when we're going to have to change something because we can't get a product anymore. Or like exactly today, we just found out that one of our wines is discontinued and no longer available. So that's just going to put a new change on the menu or onto the website as well. The website's gone down, and all of a sudden we get a notice from a customer that it's down. And now we even have like the beach cam on it, which is huge, which you guys helped us with. So that's got to be up and running, 24/7 as well. I think with COVID, when we were going through COVID, you were ahead of the game as far as everybody else. Like we still are getting stuff for ERC credits, which we have already done thanks to you guys being able to tell us, hey, you need to look into this. So I think your help in all those areas, like you said, on a weekly basis is kept us ahead of every little thing that's come our way, especially through COVID.
Now, Dave, I have a printer guy that I probably haven't talked enough about my printer guy, but I have a guy, if you're out there listening and you're in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, I will give you my printer guy's number, Bud. But I have printers everywhere in my office, printers, flat screen TVs, and I've worked with the guy, I think, for 10 years. And every time a printer goes out or a TV goes out, I call him, he comes by and fixes it. And I can't tell you how rare that is to have a vendor that I actually am not fighting with every week, every month. I mean, this guy is on it. Could you talk, Dave, about that? Because we work together every week, and the relationship that you and I have, I think, is very responsive. Where if you have something, we knock it out, and it's sort of that win-win relationship. Can you talk, Dave, about the importance of having a team that you can trust to work with you? Because there's a lot of squirrely vendors out there.
Well, the biggest help with that is it's like we get an objective opinion on something. Like, you kind of know what you want to do on any given circumstances, but being able to pick up the phone and have access to your experience and your expertise and say, yeah, that's a good idea, or no, stay away from that because this is why you don't want to do it. And it's objective. So it's not somebody who's actually got a vested interest in what's going on, but we get an opinion really quick. And a lot of times we agree with it, and it just reaffirms that this is something you should do or shouldn't.
Now, Tricia, one of the things I did when I was growing my first company, DJConnection.com, is I had a company I hired for graphic design. And somehow, no matter what we talked about, it was always $4,000. And then I had a web guy, and every time I'd call my web guy, I don't know how, but it was always $400. Every time I talked to him, $400. 4,000 graphic design. Video guy, I don't know why it was, but it was always $3,000. And then they would never talk to each other. So my video guy, my web guy, my graphic design, and there was all these vendors, and I could never get any of them to communicate. And I always had these massive bills. How helpful is it for you doing the budgeting? I know you work together doing this, but how helpful is it for you knowing that it's going to be a flat rate every month? That's what it's going to cost.
Well, I think we've had those conversations before, with like the web and the printing, which we do a lot for at the restaurant, stuff like that. Just have one person, one place, have all of our information already, one-stop shop, instant response. We're constantly, I think since COVID, we've been talking about this a lot lately. Nobody really does their job anymore and follows up on what they're supposed to do. So we turn into being babysitters and making sure that people do their job. But we don't have that with everything that you guys do for us. We just know that we reach out to you whenever it needs to be done. Don't even worry about price. It's already, set in place, and make it happen and actually get it done and not have to babysit you.
Now,
It's huge. I mean, I don't spend on that.
My final two questions I have for you is, why should anybody out there who's in the Satellite Beach area, why should they come by Papa Gallo's and a Morning Glory? Why should they do it, Dave? Why should everybody come by at least once? I would argue people might want to plan a vacation just around the idea of coming to Morning Glory and Papa Gallo's. Why should people check it out?
I think the biggest thing is we're local. Papa Gallo's has been around for 33 years, Morning Glory going on 4. So we're part of the community. If you want to get an idea of what the community is like, some of the kids have grown up in our place working. So it's just a local place. It's a local taste of, Florida, really. Beach is right out back. You can look at the ocean and have a drink, or have a pizza or Eggs Benedict and look at the ocean. It's just a nice Florida experience.
And a lot of the comments we get with our staff is, a lot of the people go to restaurants and such, but when they come to our restaurant, the staff is always happy and
Very
are there
friendly.
friendly, and are there to serve you, not just, oh, you're another customer, you're another table, kind of do a shoddy little job and move on. They really do care. And I think that comes from Dave, caring about the food as much. It's gone on to the staff as well. And it shows through the customers' responses.
And I'm not asking for the number on the show. I'm not asking for a specific number, but since we've started working with you, I believe Papa Gallo's is 4 times larger, and I believe Morning Glory is about the same size as Papa Gallo's. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and like I said, sometimes it just drives me crazy because it took 33 years to get Papa Gallo's to that level, and Morning Glory sometimes beats it, and it just drives me bananas. But it's like I said, when we started with Morning Glory, we started with both feet in the right place and knew where we were going, where we spent a lot of years at Papa Gallo's trying to figure stuff out. And having you in our corner to just bounce ideas off of is a huge comfort and help.
Well, Dave, I really do appreciate you guys. And my final question for you there, Tricia, for people out there that are thinking about coming to one of our workshops or thinking about hiring us for consulting, we only take on 160 clients. So I don't want to waste anybody's time out there who wouldn't be a good fit. And, I want to respect everybody's time, but who would be a good fit in your mind for what we do?
I mean, pretty much anybody. I mean, you're not a niche, one type of, like, a restaurant type of person to go to. You do with all the businesses. So anybody that has a business that wants to grow their business, or even, make it better and set up the systems and stuff like that, definitely don't even hesitate. Just give them a call.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for carving out time. And folks, if you're watching today, I want to encourage you. We've had the craziest last, 4 years, 3 years possible. It's never been more difficult to hire people. And Dave and Tricia have done it. They're very normal people. They're not holograms, but they're very abnormally diligent. And so if you're out there today and you're a diligent person, I want to encourage you that you too can have massive success. Sir, what is your name and what is your wife's name?
My name is Kenny Sutherland. This is my wife, Danielle.
Okay. And how long have you guys been clients approximately?
About 8 months.
And you're here today to talk about, I believe, your growth. What has been your growth in the last 8 months?
261%.
Oh, wow. Now, I know that, 99% of that 261% growth is credited to her.
Yes, absolutely.
But what do you do? What's your role in the business versus what's his role in the business?
I do all things HR. So anything that applies to having employees, that's what I do.
She's the people person.
The people person.
And sir, what's the name of your website one more time so people can verify you're real?
Yeah, it's highwaymansigns.com.
Highwaymansigns.com. And how did you originally hear about us, sir?
Through one of our clients, Colal Fitness.
Hello, my name is Charles Colal with Colal Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
In a Fox 23 television exclusive, a local company is taking small businesses to new leaps and bounds by linking them up with world-class education from millionaires, moguls, and everyday success stories. Fox 23 Sharon Phillips is live downtown on why it could have a big impact on our local economy.
It's already changing the face of small business right here in Tulsa.
We have to determine that we're going to live before we die.
One quick glance at this wall, and it's clear that CEO Clay Clark knows what he's talking about. Right now, he is one of America's most sought-after business and entrepreneurship coaches. He's working to teach entrepreneurs specifically what they need to start and grow a business.
Marketing, sales, PR. But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him. Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart, and I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good, and then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so you He's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Okay, Aaron Antis, guess who's joining us for the December 4th and 5th, 2025 Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop?
Whoa. Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, we will not be joined by Santa Claus, but we will be joined by Eric Trump, the son of the 45th and now 47th President of these United States. And yes, Amanda Grace will be in the place. And yes, Dr. Stella Manuel will be there, so you know it will go well. Yes, we have Mel K in the house. Pastor Phil and Tammy Hotson-Pillar will be hosting this event at their beautiful church right there in sunny Anaheim, California. Yes, folks, make this a December to remember.
You surprised?
Make this a December to remember and join us at the 2-day interactive business growth workshops. For over 20 years, folks, I've been hosting business growth workshops where we're going to teach you marketing, sales systems, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, sales training, search engine optimization, accounting, workflow development, financial management, all this and more. How do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, how do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com and request tickets today. And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, and this just in from our home office, President Donald J. Trump is now the 47th president of these United States as well.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
He needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint. Right. I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last, pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that, is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here with...
There's a lot of togetherness and closeness, camaraderie.
So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then, you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard. And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch. this is also your opportunity to meet some of the great speakers like Pastor Dave Scarlett. You could meet Mel Kay. You could meet Amanda Grace. You could meet Dr. Stella Emanuel. You could just grab a coffee. You could find some alone time. You could get lost in the bathroom. You could try to go and get a photo with one of the speakers. You could try to photobomb a photo where someone else is getting a photo with the speakers. You could go attempt to find your phone, wallet, and your keys.
My phone, wallet, keys, yeah, phone, wallet, keys.
Whoa. Now that's a good idea.
Well, it's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. Whoa. Add to that, Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch.
Who's with me? Let's go! Come on! Hey!
It's an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. Someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay, I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now. thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the event's going to be on December 4th and 5th in sunny Anaheim, California. Great weather. Make this a December to remember. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right. Really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop in beautiful Anaheim, California.
I'm Kay Dixon. I'm from Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Vince Suzuki, also from Sarasota, Florida.
He dragged me here.
Yep, was here in 2018, and it changed my business, and I built another business, and now I'm here to do it again with this business. So.
Yeah, I'm a brand strategist, and it's been really easy to go to a lot of events like this and just leave really in your head like what to do next. And already there's the strategic, step-by-step, real-life implementation that we can do to our business. And I'm so grateful to be here and very excited that Eric Trump is here, and that is going to be epic.
Hi, my name is Erica, and it has been amazing being here. The conference, I'm learning so much. Everything is perfect for me.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him. Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart, and I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is. He is. And it's for the folks that aren't familiar with you, and probably few and far between, I first came across you, gosh, probably 15 years ago, or maybe even